India's first women-led unicorn, NYKAA, made a blockbuster debut on Dalal Street today, up over 90% on the first day of trade. NYKAA's market cap hit the 1 lakh crore rupee mark, making its founder and CEO, Falguni Nayar, India's wealthiest self-made female billionaire. Take a look at her journey.
For the customary countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo!
She's the new billionaire queen of India. E-commerce giant NYKAA saw a bumper opening on Dalal Street today, and within 5 minutes, founder and CEO Falguni Nayar has emerged as India's richest self-made woman billionaire. 58-year-old Falguni, who was born and brought up in Mumbai, is now among one of the world's wealthiest and has joined only 6 other women billionaires in India.
What a journey NYKAA has been. Going right back to 2012, I was in an established career which would often see me help entrepreneurs be in the exact position I am in today. After taking a giant leap of faith, I left my long career in investment banking to build a platform which at the time saw few believers and many naysayers. A beauty destination for all, powered by technology, content, community, and just pure passion.
The story of this unicorn started about a decade ago. Falguni Nayar left her 18-year-long job as an investment banker at Kotak Mahindra Bank in 2012. Her dream was to be an entrepreneur. This dream led to the creation of a beauty and wellness website, NYKAA. Back then, the focus of NYKAA was to provide beauty products to women and men in India online because Indians mostly relied on smaller neighborhood stores to buy beauty products. With the launch of NYKAA, cosmetics and skincare products were just a phone tap away, and the range of options increased drastically with the introduction of international brands. And after 10 years, NYKAA has grown into the country's leading beauty e-tailer. If we talk about investors, Bollywood actor Katrina Kaif and Alia Bhatt invested an undisclosed amount in the platform through a secondary transaction last year. Apart from heading NYKAA, Falguni Nayar, who is an IIM Ahmedabad alumna, is currently on board of Aviva Insurance, Dabur India, and is also an independent director on the Tata Motors board. NYKAA's market capitalization, meanwhile, has already matched industry giants such as Britannia, Godrej and Indigo, and with its listing, NYKAA's valuation has reached nearly $13 billion. A dream fulfilled by Falguni Nayar in just 9 years. A huge inspiration for every hopeful businessman and entrepreneur out there. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
You're with us here on Business Today for an extremely special interview with 2 ladies who are at the forefront of making history when it comes to the Indian stock markets. NYKAA had a blockbuster debut today with its market cap crossing 1 lakh crore rupees, the stock listing at a premium of 82% as compared to the issue price of 1,125 rupees. With this, NYKAA's founder, Falguni Nayar, has become India's wealthiest self-made female billionaire, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome both Falguni as well as Advaita Nayar, the Executive Director, FSN E-Commerce, with us here on this exclusive conversation. Thank you so much for being with us, Falguni. Huge congratulations, and I guess the big question now is, how do you see this blockbuster listing really taking the brand discovery even further and helping proliferation for NYKAA?
I think I've always said that NYKAA enjoys much consumer love. We've had more than close to 40 million visitors visit all our platforms over, if you look at the last month's data, and more than 10 million customers have been the buyers on NYKAA apps and websites. So I think the similar journey has now begun on the investor side with retail participation at 10x. We had more than 2-3 million retailers who had shown interest to participate in the NYKAA journey besides the institutional investor. And while we have not been able to fulfill all the investor needs, and maybe only 1 in 10 investors has got the allocation, but that also has given us, almost 4 lakh investors have come into the NYKAA family.
Yeah.
And I hope this journey of investor love continues just the similar way as what we've faced with the consumer love. And the advantage we have is that our investors, our consumers, and everybody around us is all in one. Our investors are also our consumers, and our consumers are also our investors. So that's a fantastic place to be in.
Absolutely. Advaita, why don't you come in as well, being part of this journey? And, you've always been so passionate about what you're building at NYKAA, and also, of course, the fact that fashion vertical has also grown leaps and bounds and has become one of the mainstays. What's the kind of vision you have? How much bigger do you feel this will be in terms of NYKAA's growth trajectory going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I think, we've really enjoyed every single minute of this journey. We were reminiscing earlier today during the ceremony that when we think back really 8 to 9 years ago, when we were struggling to even get, 20 orders a day to implement an ERP, one could not have imagined the moments that we'd be, facing today, which is a historic IPO. So one can't help but reminisce on both the highs and lows that we've experienced over the last 9 years. I think for us, this is just a stop along the way. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot to look ahead. For me personally, focusing on the fashion business is incredibly exciting. I think it's a bold bet we took about 2.5 years ago. It's already showing incredible momentum, but I'm very convinced that this is going to be a very, very sizable business in a very large market. And we can see that, in the next couple of years, the bold bet to enter fashion, though it was a competitive space, will really pay off. So overall, feeling extremely bullish on fashion. And I think, moving from being just a pure beauty retailer to being beauty plus fashion was the right move we took a couple of years ago.
Falguni, now part of the proceeds, 630 odd crores, will be utilized for the retail store capex as well. How many store additions are you looking at? What's the plan for the remaining fiscal? Are there any targets on the outset?
Yes, I think it's difficult to make too many forward-looking statements at the moment, but I think we do have a big plans to continue our store rollout. I think it was held up last year due to COVID realities, and I think we are pushing the pedal on store rollout, and we are already in more than 40 cities with more than 80 stores, and I think the same momentum on store addition will continue. I think every couple of months you'll see that we're adding 3-4 stores, and I think on an annual basis I do believe that we'll add at least 40-50 stores.
All right. NYKAA is one of the few startup ventures in the online retailing space which has achieved strong growth and is profitable. What are some of the strategies that you plan to continue working on to maintain this kind of growth momentum and in fact even ramp up profitably faster? In many previous conversations, for instance, Falguni, you've talked about that. You've talked about the possibility to actually improve the pace even further. Share with us anything you can when it comes to strategy now going forward.
I think the main thing is e-commerce. It's early days of e-commerce penetration in beauty and fashion is still low. Okay. Beauty at 8% and fashion at 12%. And with this early days, I think the consumer adoption of e-commerce is growing. And NYKAA will also continue to acquire new customers. And short-term profitability is always a balance between new customer acquisition and returning customer behavior. Right. And I think NYKAA is very focused on our CRM strategies to make sure that our existing customers also keep coming back. And I think we will pursue balanced growth in terms of, be patient to build our company for the long run strength and try to maintain a pace of growth that is affordable and sustainable. Advaita, do you want to come in here?
Yeah, I think honestly, this dynamic between growth and profitability is something that's deeply in the DNA of the company. I think all our leaders are constantly, weighing the dynamic, and we really do think that we can do both. We can strive for strong growth without compromising on profitability. All our business plans, models, projections before we enter into new business even are all built keeping that in mind, that we have to deliver very strong growth, which anyway, being part of a large market as beauty and fashion allows us to do, but at the same time do it sensibly and do it in a profitable manner.
And so how much of the total expenditure currently would be going into tech and inventory management?
I think it's difficult to quantify that way, but a large part of our employee costs is tech related. and of course then there are other tech expenses which are like the technology platform costs. And on the inventory, I think it's not really a cost. We of course buy the inventory and sell it, and we are inventory led. But cost of funding inventory is a very small percentage of our costs. But we do believe in beauty being an inventory led business, and as far as fashion goes, it's more of a marketplace business.
Okay, so Advaita, of the two verticals, BPC and fashion in the online space, talk to us as well, of the kind of vision going forward. As you said, fashion is going to be growing fast, but when it comes to BPC as well, in terms of onboarding new brands, what's the next step in terms of that journey as well?
I think both businesses have a very exciting prospects ahead. I think on the fashion side, we've onboarded 1,500 brands just in the last year. Okay. I think there's a lot of brand onboarding to be done. I think there's a lot of focus on creating a very differentiated platform. For the watchers out there with Nykaa Fashion, we're really trying not to be like anything that currently exists in the market. So trying to do something more premium, more curated. So there's a lot to deliver on the vision through content and user experience. There's still a lot to deliver on the user side and the experience in terms of delivery technology. So we have our hands full on the fashion business to really scale it up over the next year or two. You'll also see us, going international to bring international brands into the country the same way we did for the beauty side of the business.